Tonight, with 5 days to go, Barack Obama's hanging on to a double-digit lead in a new poll. And no Joe.
Joe, I thought you were here today.
Joe the plumber, late for his date with John McCain. I'm Katie Couric. Also tonight, how will the Obama and McCain tax plans affect your family? We'll cut through the rhetoric and give you the bottom line. The next financial crisis, defaulting on credit cards. What that may mean when you pay with plastic. And rescue dogs rescuing lives behind bars.
Best cellmate I've ever had.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
And good evening, everyone. The days left in the presidential campaign are down to single digits, but the gap between the candidates remains in double digits. A CBS News New York Times poll was released just moments ago, and it shows Barack Obama leading John McCain by 11 points among likely voters. And with the economy the top issue, this may help explain Senator Obama's lead. More than half of registered voters in our poll say his policies will make the economy better. Less than a third think Senator McCain's will. With each passing day, Dean Reynolds reports Senator Obama's confidence is growing.
Barack Obama is not just concentrating on Republican states now. He's stumping in their most conservative strongholds.
Hello, Sarasota!
Today it was Sarasota, Florida, which George Bush won by 8 points 4 years ago.
George Bush has dug a deep hole for us, and he wants to hand the shovel to John McCain.
In Orlando last night, Obama was joined for the first time on the campaign trail by Bill Clinton.
Senator Barack Obama!
The campaign plans to maximize appearances by the former president and Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton right down to the finish line, showcasing their support and signaling a party unified behind Obama, who continues to lead McCain in our new CBS News New York Times poll. More than half say he's prepared to be president. Nearly as many say he can handle an international crisis. And most believe Obama cares about them, even though most think he'll raise their taxes, something the Republicans are insisting and Obama is rebutting.
No matter what Senator McCain may claim, here are the facts. If you make under $250,000, you will not see your taxes increase by a single dime.
To the Republican charge that his plans to raise taxes on the rich are socialism by another name, Obama shot back.
I don't know when they decided that they wanted to make a virtue out of selfishness.
The candidate is now concentrating on voter turnout.
This is Senator Barack Obama. How are you?
And urging early voting where possible, such as in Colorado, another former Bush state.
How many people have early voted?
Still, our poll found that a third of all voters and 60% of blacks are concerned their votes won't be counted properly. And to sow some confusion, have a look at this very official-looking but phony flyer that's being distributed in Hampton Roads, Virginia, about 30 miles from where we are now. It's going to African-American communities, and it claims that the General Assembly has mandated that due to overcrowding, all Republicans should vote on November 4th, and all Democrats should vote on Wednesday, November 5th. Wednesday, November 5th, of course, is the day after the election. Katie?
All right, Dean Reynolds. Dean, thank you. Now turning to Senator McCain's campaign, Chip Reed reports he's looking to buck the polls in the must-win Buckeye State.
It's no accident that John McCain began his Ohio bus tour today in the town of Defiance.
Nothing is inevitable here. We never give up. We never quit.
Defiant is the tone of the campaign as McCain tries to make up ground in a state where he trails by about 5 points in the latest polls. Traveling from the northwest corner of the state along Lake Erie to Mentor in the northeast, the stops were in small towns where McCain found passionate fans at every turn. The purpose in these conservative areas is not so much to find new supporters as it is to make sure the already converted get to the polls.
I know the last time anyone was elected president of the United States without carrying the state of Ohio was John F. Kennedy.
In fact, no Republican has ever won the presidency without carrying Ohio, and the key to victory here, the campaign believes, is taxes.
We have a clear difference, Senator Obama and I do. He wants to raise your taxes. I have a plan to hold the line on taxes and cut them.
He says it in every speech, and today McCain even invited Ohio's own Joe the plumber to join him to reinforce the message.
Joe's with us today. Joe, where are you? Where is Joe? Is Joe here with us today?
Oops, no Joe at this event, but he did catch up at a later stop. Sarah Palin, campaigning in Missouri, was reading from the same page.
John McCain and we are for a real tax cut.
But no matter how often they repeat it, the message is having a hard time getting through to white working-class voters, a key voting bloc for the McCain campaign. The new CBS News New York Times poll shows that 55% of that group think McCain would raise their taxes. Now, John McCain will continue his bus tour here in Ohio tomorrow, but instead of being joined by Joe the plumber, who's on stage with him right now and getting a lot of raucous cheers, he'll be joined by another special guest, Arnold the governor, as in Schwarzenegger. Katie?
All right, Chip, the reporter. Thank you, Chip. And we'll take a closer look at the candidates' tax plans a little later in the broadcast. Incidentally, according to Nielsen, more than 30 million people saw Senator Obama's primetime TV pitch last night, and they heard him make a lot of promises. But can the government really afford them? Wyatt Andrews now with a reality check.
This election's a defining moment.
By the end of his unprecedented appeal last night, Barack Obama had repeated almost every campaign promise he's ever made.
I'll invest $15 billion a year in energy efficiency.
Despite the looming recession, Obama's list of proposals remains long.
I'll recruit an army of new teachers.
And is certain to be expensive.
Cut taxes for every working family making less than $200,000 a year.
Obama has already promised a new stimulus package of $188 billion over 2 years. His tax cuts will cost $85 billion a year. That army of new teachers, $18 billion. Renewable energy, $15 billion. CBS News and various independent experts estimate Obama's total first-year spending could exceed $280 billion. Still, Obama repeated his claim he can find the money to pay for every proposal.
I've offered spending cuts above and beyond their cost.
The fact is, the savings Obama has identified do not cover all of his spending. According to a CBS News estimate, he's around $90 billion short. The Obama campaign disputes this, saying everything, including the stimulus package, is paid for over 10 years. But other analysts say even if Obama saves money in Iraq and chops the federal budget as promised, he falls short.
Senator Obama's promises on the campaign trail are unsustainable. They're untenable, especially in light of the bailout money we may be spending.
Obama's biggest promise, health care reform, may also be in trouble. For that matter, so is McCain's. A study by the respected Lewin Group predicts huge health care deficits for both candidates, $1.2 trillion for Obama's plan and a $2 trillion hole for McCain's.
I don't think that either of the major presidential candidates would be able to pass their health care reform proposal as promised.
We already know the next president will have hundreds of billions of dollars less to work with because of the falling economy, and yet nothing about those rapidly changing numbers changed one thing in Obama's list of promises. Katie?
Wyatt Andrews in Washington tonight. Thank you, Wyatt. Meanwhile, the nastiest, or one of the nastiest campaigns this year could be the Senate race in North Carolina, and it's getting nastier. Democrat Kay Hagan sued incumbent Republican Elizabeth Dole today for libel and defamation. It's over a Dole ad that questions Hagan's ties to an atheist political group. Here's a clip from that ad and Hagan's response.
Godless Americans and Kay Hagan. She hid from cameras, took godless money. What did Hagan promise in return?
There is no God.
I believe in God. I taught Sunday school. My faith guides my life, and Senator Dole knows it.
Hagan's lawyers said they sued after Dole refused to stop airing her ad. A spokesman for the Dole campaign called the suit a, quote, silly political gimmick. The last big economic report before the election came out today. It shows the economy was receding in the third quarter of this year at an annual rate of 0.3%, the worst showing since the weeks after 9/11. Despite that news, it was relatively calm on Wall Street today. The Dow closed up nearly 190 points. Meanwhile, in other business news, American Express says it's cutting 7,000 jobs as more and more Americans default on credit cards. Randall Pinkston reports on a new financial crisis that could affect you even if your credit is good.
Diana Kincaid of Maple Grove, Minnesota, always pays her bills on time, but that didn't stop Sears MasterCard from cutting her credit limit in half.
They had reviewed my account, and since I did not use my credit limit, they were going to decrease it.
To reduce their risk, credit card companies are taking drastic steps, even if they hurt good customers, to protect themselves from a rising wave of defaults.
Credit card companies are facing about $40 billion in credit card losses this year, and that number may double next year.
That's because more consumers are falling deeper in debt. The average American has 9 credit cards and owes more than $16,000, and that doesn't include mortgages.
People have been spending far more than the growth in their wages and salaries.
This decade, real wages went up 4%, while credit card debt jumped more than 75%.
So what they're doing in order to balance out what's happening on the negative end is applying some pressure to their consumers.
So credit cards are raising interest rates, not taking new customers, reducing credit limits, and closing dormant accounts.
Is that really fair for those of us who've, maintained really good credit all our lives?
Diana Kincaid convinced Sears MasterCard to restore her credit limit.
Should we have to, pay for what's going on right now in the economy?
Fair or not, it's a bill millions of Americans are having to pay. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, New York.
Turning now to health news, expanding waistlines are taking their toll. The government today reported a big jump in diabetes, especially type 2, the kind linked to obesity. Figures from 33 states show that since 1995, the diabetes rate has nearly doubled. The CDC says more than 23 million Americans now have the disease. Coming up next, right here on the CBS Evening News, each candidate criticizes the other's tax plan, so we'll help you do the math. It really does get confusing. Each of the presidential candidates says his tax plan will help the middle class while the others will hurt it. So who's right? We asked Nancy Cordes to run the numbers.
Let's take 4 families, each with 2 working parents, 2 young kids, but different incomes. We asked the nonpartisan Tax Policy Center to calculate what their tax burdens would be under Obama and McCain.
Singles and couples.
Our first family has a modest income, $35,000 a year. Under current law, that family gets a tax credit, a check from the government of $2,765 a year. But Obama and McCain would give them even more, $1,400 more from Obama, $480 more from McCain. Our next family of 4 makes $50,000, just about the median income, which means half the nation's tax filers make that much or less. Right now, their 2009 tax bill is slated to be about $772. But McCain would double the tax deduction for children, dropping their bill to just $51. Obama promises a new worker tax credit, which would actually wipe out their bill, leaving them with a refund for $232. When you get to $150,000, Obama and McCain's tax bills are nearly identical. Right now, that family's bill is $18,370. Obama would shrink it by about $1,000. McCain by $1,200. At $200,000, tax bills would just stay the same under both candidates. But at the top of the ladder, $250,000, things change. Not under McCain, who would continue to bill that family just over $42,000. But this is where Obama's tax increase kicks in this case, by $600.
The bottom line is neither man pays for his tax cuts. By our estimates, Senator Obama's plan would increase the federal deficit by about $3.5 trillion over the next 10 years. Senator McCain would be even worse, about $5 trillion.
Which suggests that, unlike our 4 families, neither candidate is focused on balancing his budget. Yet. Nancy Cordes, CBS News, Washington.
Overseas today, a huge anti-American protest as tens of thousands jammed the streets of Damascus, Syria. The government there was behind it. It wants an apology for Sunday's U.S. raid from Iraq into Syria. A top al-Qaeda leader was killed in that raid. The U.S. embassy in Damascus was closed today as a precaution, but the crowds stayed about a mile away. Coming up next, why money's pouring in from all over the country in the battle over a ballot initiative in California. In California, a ballot initiative is getting almost as much attention as the presidential race. Proposition 8 would ban same-sex marriage. At least 16,000 same-sex couples have married in California since a May court ruling made it legal. John Blackstone reports there are strong feelings on both sides of this emotional issue.
With this ring?
With this ring?
When California's Supreme Court declared same-sex marriage legal, most polls showed majority support around the state. Not anymore.
So I am really worried.
Willie Brown, one of the wise men of California politics, says the battle over Proposition 8, which would ban same-sex marriage, is raising passions and money across the country.
No question about it.
The passion reaches into normally quiet neighborhoods where Tom and Kelly Byrne put out a yes on 8 sign, only to have it answered by graffiti.
I've heard that a lot, like that you were haters.
For the Byrnes, voting yes on 8 is returning marriage to the meaning it always held.
I can't just redefine a word. I can't take the word heterosexual and say that it means someone who has a sexual preference for plants, right? So by the same token, no one else should be able to take the word marriage and redefine it to mean something else that they feel that it should mean.
Jeannie Rizzo and Pally Cooper felt strongly that the meaning of marriage should include them.
There is something really special about a wedding and marriage.
They fought all the way to California's Supreme Court and won last May. Proposition 8 would ban future same-sex marriages.
Now it really is about taking something away from us. That's not okay with me.
It's an issue that's been raising strong emotions and an impressive amount of money. More than $31 million has poured into the anti-same-sex marriage campaign. But what could be priceless is the boost the campaign gets every Sunday in church.
It's decision time in our lives today.
Pastor Edward Smith leaves no doubt how he expects his congregation to vote.
Our posture is we want to preserve marriage as it been defined between a man and a woman from the beginning of time.
But on the other side, the campaign to keep same-sex marriage has raised more than $44 million, fueling the TV ad war.
Leave our Constitution alone. Support marriage equality.
With both sides viewing this as a vote that's crucial, this is a campaign where both budgets and passions are sky high. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
Finally tonight, you've heard of jailbirds. We introduce you now to jail dogs. Mark Strassman reports they're serving time and a very special purpose.
Yes, he's a good boy.
In prison, where kindness is considered weakness, dogs make tough men tender. Inside 9 Colorado prisons, inmates and dogs do time together.
Best cellmate I've ever had.
Mostly shelter dogs, found beaten, starved, abandoned. In 2 months, inmate trainers make them adoptable again.
What have they taught you? Responsibility, patience.
Repeat offender Marion Crawford's also a repeat trainer. Porter is his 54th dog here.
He brightens my day up.
Every day?
Every day.
It's really a program about second chances for the dog and the inmate.
Yes, good boy. Right in front of his nose. See if he'll get it. Okay? Go for it.
Debbie
right
Stevens started it 6 years ago.
Good boy.
To qualify, inmates must be trouble-free for 6 months.
It gives them new life skills.
Skills Cynthia Gonzalez had never learned. She's doing life for murder.
It gives me comfort just hearing her breathe and just hearing her move at night. Good girl. It's helped teach me love and care, things that I didn't always notice on the streets.
Many of these dogs, like many of their inmate handlers, were considered throwaways. But outside these walls, the success of this program is in its rescued lives, both of dogs and of people.
Can we roll? Can we roll?
Robert Gurley credits his successful family life after prison to his last 4 years inside training dogs.
I sent a little bit of myself home with every one of them. Sorry.
Finish it. More than 3,000 dogs have left prison life for new homes.
Keys.
Some of them even trained as assistance dogs. Inmate Crystal Terry compares giving up each dog.
My favorite was Lucy.
To giving up a child.
So this brings out a real maternal side in you. And you like that side of you.
I do. I do. Especially if you didn't get to
appreciate it when you're out there.
In a prison, of all places, they found it in each other, the chance to feel again. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Colorado Springs, Colorado.
And that is the CBS Evening News. I'm Katie Couric. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.